These are the top 3 things I have learned over the last 6 years that have supercharged my healing process and also made me a healthier, more peaceful, more loving and kind person with a touch of a badass in there. Number 1, learning about secure attachment. I read this book, Attached, and that helped me realize that I was not securely attached in my relationships to other people. And then I read this book about internal family systems therapy, which helped me realize that I wasn't securely attached to myself, to all the different parts of me. Because the number 1 thing that we as humans need is safety and safe connections with ourselves and others. Number 2, and this is probably the hardest for me, is learning to regulate my nervous system so that I'm not emotionally reactive. I have PTSD. So I read this book by Deb Dana called Polyvagal Theory, which just blew my mind on how much our nervous system really is the gateway to healing. Because you cannot think or talk your way into healing when your body is stuck in survival mode. You got to have nervous system flexibility. And I also learned how to heal that by this book, Complex PTSD by Pete Walker. Fantastic. It helped me realize that I didn't have a character problem, I just had a chemistry problem. And number 3, psychological flexibility mixed with self-compassion. Psychological flexibility is your ability to experience discomfort without self-abandonment or avoidance. And you have to develop self-compassion for that. So first I read Kristen Neff's book on self-compassion, and she has multiple books on this, which I highly recommend. We have to talk to ourselves more kindly. And then I did this workbook, DBT Skills Workbook by Marsha Linehan, and it actually gives you like super practical skills and things that you can do to sit with that discomfort, to calm that discomfort, to soothe yourself. I read once that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And also, life is only 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. So we have to rewire our brain and our nervous system to react appropriately and more healthy. And I'm not saying that shit's easy, but it has definitely helped me accept radical responsibility for my life and to stop blaming others and just enforce my boundaries better. But I'd love to know, what have you learned over the last few years that has helped you the most in your healing journey?